So, the conditions for wildfire right now, it's still not a lot has changed. There's still 70% of the states in greater is severe or greater drought conditions. So again, we're dry. It's also the driest time of the year. It's the dormant season. We're fixing to start to go into March, which March is the windiest month. And wind is what drives wildfires in the dormant season. And again, the dry conditions, make it even worse. But the winds are always the big factor that impacts wildfires and stuff. So again, we need to be planning and thinking about things that we're going to do, take our wildfire precautions around our buildings and our homes. We should have already done that, but again, make sure we double check everything. Being storing equipment where fire can't get to it. Make sure you have some kind of plan to think about what would happen if livestock were to be in the path of a fire and stuff. How are we going to handle that? All those different things that we can do. So it's important to think about that. Again, a lot of it's just a little bit of prior planning will go a long ways for that. Trying to do it when it's happening is not a good time to be trying to plan or to act on things. You need to kind of think about it. Again, the benefits of prescribed fire are numerous. Again, for livestock production, there's numerous benefits for livestock production. Again, increased gain on stocker cattle, increased palatability of available forage, earlier green up, increased nutrient quantity and quality within that. Again, for wildlife, numerous benefits for wildlife. Also, again, for wildfire protection. So again, the benefits are great for what we can get and what we can see with prescribed fire. Burns are, recommended for all kinds of different things. Again, probably one of the number one reason most people burn in this state, is for cedar control. Trying to control eastern red cedar and other woody plants that are invading our rangelands and stuff throughout the state, even our forest lands and stuff throughout the state. And so again, fire is an important part. Even if you don't have a lot of cedars on your property, it's still a good thing to help have fire to help keep those cedars back, keep them at check, but also the other benefits that it's going to provide with that fire that nothing else, there's no chemical, there's no mechanical treatment, anything like that mimics what fire can do to the land. And that's an important part of it. The deal with prescribed fire, it's all about planning. That's the difference between a prescribed fire and a controlled burn. Prescribed fires are burns that are planned for specific objectives on a specific piece of land. And so the biggest part of it is planning. It's not one of those things that we're going to go out, wake up one morning and say, hey, well, it looks like a good day to burn, let's go burn something. We need to have it planned. We need to get fire breaks in place. We need to notify neighbors, notify the local fire departments, make sure we got adequate equipment, adequate manpower, and make sure all that stuff's in line. And then the biggest thing is of that day, make sure the weather conditions are proper and within prescription of what you want to do to help you achieve your goals and objectives for that burn. So one of the first things that you should do if you're thinking about doing a burn, and again, don't have a lot of experience and stuff with it, again, contact local county office, Extension, also NRCS. Again, they have people that can help you with writing plans or at least point you in the right direction. One of the biggest things is being able to contact and get some help from a local prescribed burn association. We have 25 prescribed burn associations scattered throughout the state in about 36 counties. And so, there could be one close by that would offer some really good advice, help, also assistance to helping you burn, also give you experience and things like that to get involved with it.